But first, our top story tonight, the tens of millions of dollars in unspent money Portland city leaders have been struggling to decide how to spend for months now. Today, they heard from people desperate for solutions and fed up with the wait. Alma McCarty joins us now from the newsroom with the public testimony today and the plan going forward. Alma.
Yeah, Christine, the money is supposed to help get more people into housing and keep others from becoming homeless. Counselors discussed and at times argued over new amendments today when it comes to that $56 million.
Get this housing money out into community hands and do it today.
Tuesday morning inside council chambers, an ongoing discussion stretches on.
I just hope that I can come to a decision to pass this amendment to help a whole lot of people.
Portland city councilors considering what to do with tens of millions of dollars in unspent housing funds discovered last year in order to keep people housed.
We have debated these funds for months now. We've held it over meeting after meeting, despite the public consistently, even today, urging us to appropriate these much needed funds.
Several Portlanders demanded council make moves on the funding sooner rather than later.
Strengthen the service net of this community where many people are going unsheltered and unserviced. The wait is over and the time is now.
For the sake of so many households on the verge of losing their housing this month and those on the verge of becoming housed again, I beg you all to move forward together. Pass a damn amendment today and move this housing money.
Cost of living continues to go up. Affordable housing is not affordable. Wages continue to stay stagnant and the conditions of the properties do not improve with each rent increase.
After lots of back and forth, some of it contentious, City Council ultimately passed the proposal 8-4. With the money going to things like rent assistance, eviction prevention, affordable housing development, and social housing. It was introduced by 4 councilors and called Keeping Portlanders Housed.
We all come to this with different perspectives and priorities. That's part of the job. And I think governing means that we make decisions even when they're not perfect. Progress over perfection.
In Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
The sheer amount of quantity found on Mr. Barahona Cruz in this second incident was astounding. It was over 100 grams of fentanyl, which for some perspective, he had over 600 blue pills on him. He had over 20 small prepackaged spindles on him.
A notorious drug dealer in Portland now facing more than 5 years in prison. Police say Eber Cruz was dealing fentanyl 2 blocks from a school downtown. This is body cam video of his arrest back in 2024. Police had been surveilling the area for months because the surrounding blocks were a particular hotspot for drug dealing at the time. This isn't Cruz's first arrest either. He was also arrested in June for fentanyl-related charges. DA Nathan Vasquez indicated he made bail on the first offense months prior, but these charges were more serious.
On the one hand, I want to support everyone who's suffering from substance use disorder into getting into treatment. On the other hand, I want to make sure that we are swift, certain, and strong when it comes to those individuals that would poison our community members.
Cruz's sentencing is expected to happen sometime this summer. New at 11, Portland police are investigating how a car got lodged into the front of the Multnomah Athletic Club and hit a pedestrian along the way. It happened just before 7 o'clock this evening. Portland police say the driver sideswiped another car on Southwest Salmon Street, then veered into a planter box at the club entrance. The person hit was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Aside from those metal stairs, the building itself does not appear to be damaged. Police say the driver is cooperating with investigators and that there were no signs of impairment. A live look now from our Rose City Skycam, where we saw another day of sunny skies, warm weather, and I hear tomorrow is going to be even better. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri here now with a first look at your weather impact forecast. Joe, how much better are we talking?
We're talking about 7 to 8 degrees better in many locations. So yeah, another day with sunny and warm conditions. That's kind of been the trend the last 3 or 4 days or so, all in part to a ridge of high pressure that's just kind of sitting out there in the Pacific. But speaking of the Pacific, we have this upper level low that's going to slowly move on shore over the next couple of days, kind of bringing in some scattered showers and some heavier downpours and kind of some thunderstorm activity throughout southern Oregon earlier this evening. Now, over the next couple of days, as I said, it'll go from the south to north, bringing in more showers and a chance for some thunderstorms throughout parts of the central and southern Oregon Cascades tomorrow. By Friday, those showers and thunderstorms could be rolling into the metro area. So back to sunshine for tomorrow. The rest of the week, we stay dry until late Friday afternoon and Friday night. That's the timing on when the showers and thunderstorms could materialize in the metro area. And this weekend, yeah, it is going to be turning wet. Rainfall amounts could be wrapping up right around close to 1/2 inch of rain, maybe more for Saturday and into Sunday. Talk more about your detailed forecast in a few minutes.
Okay, see you soon. Thank you, Joe. Developing overseas, Iran has once again closed the Strait of Hormuz after Israeli airstrikes rocked parts of Lebanon this morning. It happened hours after the U.S. and Iran announced a 2-week ceasefire. Lebanon's health ministry said, according to early estimates, that dozens were killed, hundreds wounded. Israel defended its actions, saying Hezbollah, an Iran-backed group, is not covered by the agreement. But mediators in the U.S.-Iran peace talks in Pakistan say they are. Keeping the international waterway open was a key aspect of the ceasefire agreement. It comes as a U.S. delegation led by Vice President J.D. Vance heads to Pakistan this weekend to continue peace talks with Iran.
But the president's very, very clear. The deal is a ceasefire, a negotiation. That's what we give. And what they give is the straits are going to be reopened. If we don't see that happening, the president is not going to abide by our terms if the Iranians are not abiding by their terms.
Efforts to cement a more lasting peace in the region facing some headwinds as well. Both the U.S. and Iran have laid out different agendas for this weekend's peace talks. Meanwhile, gas prices are still ticking up. AAA says the national average is at $4.16 per gallon of regular gas. That is up 2 cents from yesterday. And up about a cent is regular gas in Oregon at $5.01 a gallon. In Washington, drivers are shelling out $5.39 a gallon, which is unchanged from yesterday. Those rising prices have some wheat farmers in eastern Oregon telling us they're not just struggling to break even, but are actually losing money in some cases. Libby Dowsett has that story.
Fuel for me, it's a real strain. It's huge.
Erin Heidemann and her husband Deacon of Blown Away Farms in Gillum County are fifth-generation farmers who are doing what they can to absorb the rising cost of fuel.
I don't give myself a salary and we go nowhere. I don't go out to eat.
Raising 8 boys, Erin says they've struggled before, but this time feels different.
I worry, honestly, that I'm going to lose this before my boys take over. And what am I doing now to make them want to come back to this space? Because it's a huge ask.
Fellow farmer Kurt Melville from Enterprise understands.
We're cutting back on every corner that we can, trying to not have any repairs and putting off things that would be normal maintenance.
Melville has seen the price of diesel double. He just purchased 10,000 gallons at the higher price.
That's $15,000 more than it was just a few weeks before that.
He says farmers cannot pass that added cost on to consumers. Their prices are set by the world market.
If you can't produce for that, then you're going under.
And farmers say that's not even counting the costs of transporting the product overseas.
So once I sell it, I still have to pay the shipping cost to get it to the Port of Portland and ultimately that overseas market. I also have to pay for everything to come upriver on the barge to be offloaded for me to use.
If we continue on into fall planting with high fertilizer and high diesel fuel and freight costs, then it's going to be really difficult. There's going to be a lot of farmers that will not be able to recover.
And wheat prices were already low. One farmer telling us he's getting paid the same amount for wheat that his father got back in the 1970s. In Southwest Portland, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.